All right, here we go. Good evening. How is everybody doing? So we're going to be talking about how safe are you where you're at. We're going to get into that in a little while here. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you all had a good weekend and we're safe, hopefully. I know that there's been a lot of stuff going on, and we're going to get into that a little bit, and that's part of what we're going to talk about as well tonight. But before we get started, I want to make sure that everybody understands this is a very family friendly oriented channel. And I would ask you to all please be decent in the chat. No nastiness, no racism, or any of that, things like that. If you can't follow those simple, easy rules, the people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here because we're just not going to tolerate it. It's not necessary. So I don't want to deal with that. Okay. And so there's always some that are going to try. It happens in every stream, but my moderators are awesome and they do a great job. Hey, Katie, how you doing, hon? He says, "Hey, Ed from Rhode Island. How bad are things there for you?" But anyway, I also, like I said, if there's any interruptions with the stream, which we haven't had any issues again since we've switched over to the new internet, then I would get right back on as soon as I possibly can. All right. So anyway, so let's talk about first. Let's talk about what happened in Tennessee. Certain parts of Tennessee ended up receiving up to 17 inches of rain. And I want you to think about that. And that was within a few hours. It wasn't like it was like over a course of a couple of days. It was over the course of a few hours. So you know, you get that much rain. I don't care where you're at. I don't care if you're in the mountains, in the valleys, or whatever. You're gonna have flooding. You're absolutely gonna have flooding. And unfortunately, quite a few people. I think they said up to 20 people are dead, and there's a lot of people missing, which is really really sad. Real sad. And so, but those are things that absolutely happen. You know, I'd help battle the Al Gore never had or never will any Ryan. Okay, I don't know. Um, 24 inches in 24-hour period. Is that how much they ended up having? But I know a lot of it was in a very concentrated time, and so, but that's just a ridiculous amounts of rain. And there's realistically, again, what it always comes down to is it's safe where you're at. So I want to go over some things, and I want people to understand my viewpoint where I'm coming from when I look for a location. Like I obviously have just got a new location where is my new bug out location. And actually, I do plan on living there. So it's not like I'm just getting it set up and I may use it. No, no, I plan on living there. I plan on getting out of New York altogether. Now I will say this: where I live here in New York is a very good location. I picked this location the same exact way that I picked my West Virginia location. Okay, but my West Virginia location is even more isolated. So those were my thought process is this, and I want you guys to think about these different criteria that I'm going to talk about when it comes to where you are, and then we're going to talk about certain places where people are that I don't think are the best places to be. Okay, so when I'm looking for location, the very first thing I'm looking for is high elevation. I want high elevation for several reasons. Number one, you're less prone to flooding. That's so important to me personally because I would hate to put in a tremendous amount of hard work just to have it all wash away because of a flood coming. And there's a lot of places that have had to deal with that. Now, again, when you have anomalies happen where you have a tremendous amount of rain in a short period of time, you don't have a lot of control over that, and that's going to do whatever damage it's going to do. But when you are looking for some place that is going to be a safer location, high elevation is generally going to be a good location. Now, the second part of high elevation is it's very defensible. Kind of touched this a little bit in my stream earlier today when I did my video earlier. When you hold the high ground, people have to come up to you. They have to get you out of the high ground. Now, if you have the government coming after you and they can bomb you out and all those type of things, there's nothing you're gonna be able to do about that. But if it's men coming up there looking to disroot you from your location, it's going to be a heavy toll on them in manpower and that type of stuff to be able to do that. High elevation is very, very good. It's very, very defensible. If you know your area, you know good locations to set up ambush sites and all those type of things also. So that really does make a difference, believe it or not. Okay. So this next thing is when you're looking for a bug out location, water is always going to be key. Water is going to be, always should be your number one thing. So if you have, springs or a well already on site, if there is a creek or anything like that, or a river or something like that as part of your property, that is a great, great thing because, like I said, without water, we're dead in 3 days, and that's fresh water. That's fresh, drinkable water. We're not talking about stagnant swamp water that's all full of parasites and stuff, and then you drink it. If you drink it without purifying it, you're probably going to get sick. You're going to get diarrhea, and then you're going to be gone anyway. So those are things you really got to think about. So, and of course, making sure you have a way to sterilize water and knowing several different ways to sterilize water. Those are important as well. And a lot of people, believe it or not, I know as preppers that are in here, sharing the off-grid experience and doing those type of things, we automatically, I mean, the first thing I can think of 4 or 5 different ways right off the top of my head on how to purify water. But you got to understand, um, uh, Ed, your West Virginia homestead got saturated. Good, good. It needed the rain. They needed the rain down there. They really did. So I will be back down there next month. So I'm hoping to see. I want to see that creek running. I want to see water flowing through that creek. And I know that they had a drought down there pretty bad. So with them getting a lot of water down there is great. That's it's rain is a twofold thing. When you get a lot of rain, it can disrupt things. It can destroy crops. It can wash out roads. We had the people that I got hella from. They put some pictures up on Facebook. In their road, they live up on the side of a mountain too. Okay, they're up on the side of this mountain, and part of their road got washed out. I mean, completely washed out with the rain that we had here last week. So you just never know. Or was this week? Yeah, whatever days. Yeah, it was this week. I'm sorry, I'm like losing my mind. But anyway, those are things that definitely play a factor into it. So water can be a beneficial thing. It's going to fill up your aquifers. Really help the ground and stuff like that. You need to have water, but getting a ton of it all at once is not always a good thing. What do we got? 524 in the chat already. We're at 205 on the thumbs up. So I'm going to ask really, really quick if you would shoot a thumbs up. Ed, are you planning to go to Pinball's get together? I didn't even know he was having one. To be honest with you, I had no idea. If he contacts me, I'm sure that we could work something out. I wouldn't mind going at all. So, yeah, if he tell him to give me a holler, I am available. So, depends on when it is too. Obviously, I have to look into that. But are you taking all your buildings with you to West Virginia? No, I will talk. We're going to talk about all that too in a minute. But again, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And also, it really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, I like to see a lot of thumbs up. That's part of the game, of course. So I thank you for doing it for that reason as well. And again, if you're not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So anyway, with moving to West Virginia, what I plan on doing is I am keeping everything that I have here in New York intact. And we're going to get back into talking about the other part of things in a minute. It's safe where you're at, okay? But I just wanted to touch on this. This bug out location is staying exactly the way it is, okay? Becky and Mom are going to stay here for now. Heather will probably be back and forth between West Virginia and here. So I want to make sure things are set up for them. I need to go down there, and I need to start working on the infrastructure down there to make it livable for everybody to be able to come down there and live down there if that's what they so choose to do. I believe that Becky plans on staying here in New York because of the grandchildren, But I know Mom would come down to West Virginia in a heartbeat. And I think when Heather, after when here's going to be the key, okay? And I'll be honest with you, okay? When winter comes, this winter that we just had happen, right? Mom and Beck moved here. I brought in every piece of wood for them every single day. So if I'm not here, they're going to have to do all that themselves. Now, the wood will be all ready. They'll have plenty of wood to work with, and they won't have to worry about running out of wood. But they really are going to be realizing how much work that is without me here to help them. And again, if they called me up and they said, hey, we need you to come home for a week and take care of this, that, or the other thing, obviously I would come up here and I would do that in a heartbeat. So, but I do plan on going down and start getting my infrastructure in place down there. And now, this is not going to happen overnight. It's not magically, boom, the homestead down there is going to be up and running and it's going to be fantastic. It's none of this stuff is easy. None of this stuff is easy. So it's getting things in place and getting things squared away and doing all those type of things. So anyway, so I want to get back to what we were talking about here. Okay, is it safe where you're at? So I talked about for my criteria, and this is what I was. So some people don't want to live in the mountains, obviously. Some would rather live in the valleys and be close to water and all those type of things. But with just a notification came on the phone. Uh, with that, you got to understand what you are going to have cause and effect. What are the dangers in the location of where you're at? What are the red flags and stuff like that? All right. So right now, it is pretty much anywhere in the United States you can stay, because if you work on things, you can get access to a lot of different things. But what we have to think about, this is what we have to think about. Let's think about all those people that live in Arizona. I'm going to use Arizona. We could use Nevada. You could use Las Vegas as a point as well. Okay. Without water, you're going to be in big trouble really, really quickly. Now, I know in Arizona they have the monsoon season that comes in. There's a channel that I've been watching recently, and God, I wish I could remember the name of them. It's a couple that live there, and they've set up a lot of stuff for water. And water's life, guys. Water is life. So with the monsoon season, they collect a tremendous amount of water in their reservoir. They got a huge reservoir. They have, some storage containers. And so they utilize every bit of that they can, which is smart. But how many people do that? How many people that live in Arizona or in Nevada or any of those other certain parts of California, when you get into Death Valley and stuff like that, how many of those people are collecting every bit of water that they can? Most people, realistically, are having water trucked in. Well, you got to realize that in that type of an event, there is a lot of problems that come with that. Okay, a lot of problems that come with that, because if you can't have that water trucked in, you're in big trouble really, really fast. And if you're trying to stay at your bug out location and stay away from people and all that type of stuff, and now one of the main resources that you need is not available to you, you could be in dire straits in a hurry, because there's so for growing crops, for just daily life, cooking food, drinking water, all those type of things. So there's a large Amish community south of me. I could make it that far. I could have, I think, some help. It would be, I'm not sure they would. They may. You never know. They may, but I think there's a limit of how many people that they would help. And there's a lot of Amish. I have a lot of Amish around where I'm at as well. I think in that type of a situation, and I've thought about this as well. The Amish don't fight. They're not. They're pacifists, right? So you could say to them, listen, you know, we can offer protection for you guys if you help us out with food or whatever and stuff like that. Barter. So there's an option that is there for people that they could do, because the Amish have been doing what they do forever. And so that would not be a big deal for them if the power went out and never came back on. They're geared towards that lifestyle anyway. So But there's obviously going to be bad actors that would come out and try to hurt these people. So if you can offer them protection, like I said, again, that one hand washes another. So that's not a bad thing to have in your area, having the Amish in your area. Let's talk about cities. All right. That is the absolute worst possible place that you can be for many reasons. One reason that would be an okay place to be, and we're going to talk about that. But the main reasons that it would be not a pleasant place to be, most people in cities do not prep. That's a fact. I mean, and we all know that there's certain people that do prep in cities, and they're ready to a degree. But what do? You live in an apartment complex, and so the gangs come in and they start going apartment to apartment and floor to floor, uh, salvaging and taking everything that they want, uh, you know, raping and murdering and all those. The Green Project, yes, the Green Dream Project, yes. Thank you, Glenn Zimmerman. He knew exactly who I was talking about. That's awesome. Nice couple. Um, Guys, I'm gonna do a quick shout out for them. The Green Dream Project. All right, they're out in Arizona. They're in the desert. Awesome couple. Watch what they're doing out there. Go give them. And I've never talked to him, so I don't. He'll be like, Prepper Nurse who, but tell him Prepper Nurse One sent you over. Check them out. It gives people different ideas, and that's what I like. That's what I like to watch. Different things like that. They are, that's where they live, so they're getting that, collecting that rainwater, which I think is so smart. And he even apologized the other day. I'm sorry for all the rain videos lately, but you can see the excitement of how they're filling up their reservoir and how they are, getting all their tanks filled up with water and stuff. And I just think it's really cool. I think it's so smart. The Amish know gray man tactics very well. They do, but they're not fighters. There's the difference. The Amish are not fighters. So, they're not going to fight people that come in there and try to do bad things. I mean, they might a little bit, but realistically, they're not prepared to defend themselves the way that preppers are. But anyway, yeah, like a granny dress. There you go. Sally Scott said she'll say she's Amish. There you go. Hey, you do what you got to do. But they'd figure that out pretty quick. They have their own ways. But yeah, the Amish do not serve in wars. No, they do not. Conscientious objectors is what they are. So, but anyway, yeah, thank you for giving the name of the channel out there. I appreciate that, because they really do have a good channel, and I've been watching them, so I like them. So, but anyway, in the cities, you have way too many people that are unprepared, again, that will do all kinds of bad things. You got to remember, there's a very thin veil with civility. When you take away rule of law, when you take away the protection of law enforcement, when people are on their own, the bad actors are going to be out there, and they're going to be out there in numbers. There's already, I mean, I want you to think about this. This is a really easy way to think about this. You look at all the gangs that are out there, and they're organized. They're a big family, is what they are, right? Then look at all the bikers that are out there. There's a ton of bikers, way more than people think. And I'm talking to 1% biker groups. What do you think they're going to do in an SHTF situation? They're already in a brother and sisterhood. They're already working together. So when things go haywire, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to band together, and they're going to do what they need to do. You know, Desperate people equal dangerous people. Absolutely. The most dangerous people in the world, and I've said this many times, and I'll say it again, is people that are desperate and scared. That is the most dangerous person out there, because they will do whatever they have to do to survive. And so that's something that people really need to take into consideration. They need to think about. So high population areas are not a place that you're going to want to be. Yeah, pick your own family. Exactly. You can. Absolutely. 5 Virginians prepper said that. There's nothing wrong with picking the people that you want to hang out with and be with. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And I'll tell you what, some of those people will have your back way better than blood would. So, but anyway, one of the good things about the city, I'll even say a positive thing about being in a city: tremendous amount of resources, an absolute treasure trove of resources that can be used, because what's going to happen is your bad actors are going to come in. They're looking for drugs. They're looking for food, water, and those type of things. They're going to leave a lot of supplies behind because they don't realize how valuable they are. They'll have no idea. Okay, so there will be a tremendous amount of supplies available in cities after an SHTF event, but that's if you survive the initial 6 months or a year in those cities. And once you get into that initial 6 months to a year, and if you have survived that, those gangs are going to be very, very, very well organized at that point. So you need to really think about that. Again, your location is going to be so important. So the more isolated you are, the more small town communities that you live in, it puts you in a better position to survive. Because I'm going to tell you right now, and I truly believe this. I live in the country now, as you guys know. I've been out here. June started my 7th year living out here, living off grid full time, and I've gotten to know my neighbors. And I honestly believe that if something went down, you have to understand something. When something is in somebody's own best interest for survival, they're going to get on board. They're going to get on board in a hurry. So I think you're going to see a lot of people in the country are going to band together because it's in their own best interest to do so. Small towns are going to wall off those small towns. They're not going to let strangers in. And even like the small town that I don't live too far from, everybody knows everybody. So, it would be, they might let the people from the hills in. I don't know. But I wouldn't want to be in there. I wouldn't want to be in there anyway. Again, because then what are you going to deal with? You're going to deal with politics and all kinds of other nonsense that I don't want to have to deal with. I'm going to stay out here in the hills, do what I got to do, take care of my family, and work with the people around me. And I think that you're going to see that a lot. You're going to see a lot of good people working together. Now, let's talk about some dangers of where we are, okay? And I don't care, this is across the board, guys. Across the board. We are the most medicated country in the world. I've talked about that before. So many people on drugs of some sort, one sort or another. I got a hangnail, it's driving me nuts, so I got to clip it here. So just bear with me just for a moment. All right. So, you have so many people on antipsychotic medication and all these type of things. When that is no longer available, you are going to have some very disturbed people all over the place, all over the place. So that's country, city, suburbia, wherever you are, there's people out there that are not wrapped super tight. So that's something that people really, really need to hang nail, not hang mail. So there's people that you need to be concerned about, because those people are going to be very, very dangerous as well. You know, medications for those with mental health issues will quickly become very problematic very quickly. Yep, Robert Bates, very quickly, because once they can't get those meds that keep them from seeing or hearing the voices and all that type of stuff, again, that's another whole animal you got to deal with. Now let's talk about the drug addicts. All right, a lot of drug addicts all over the place. Again, it doesn't matter where you're located. There's people in the country on drugs. There's people in the city. There's people in suburbia. So you're always going to deal with those drug addicts as well. Drug addicts are not going to all of a sudden miraculously stop using drugs because the end of the world has happened or a major event has happened. They're not going to stop. They're still going to they have drug seeking behavior. And if they can't get it from their sources, they're going to get it wherever they can get it from. In a worst case scenario, they're going to hit nursing homes. They're going to hit pharmacies. They're going to hit hospitals. They're going to hit any place that they could possibly go, even going house to house, looking for prescription medications from people as well. So those are other things that you really, really need to think about. Trudeau is making his campaign all about making the vax mandatory, said those who don't agree are irresponsible. I really don't want to get into that in this stream, to be honest with you, because we've beaten that like a dead horse. There is so many so many issues with that whole situation, and the language that's being used and stuff like that with everything is absolutely ridiculous. Irresponsible. Do it for your community. And now they're going to force people. It's just it's a major major issue. So I really don't want to get into that right now. I will show that one, Candace. I like that. Um, Trump is still campaigning. Yeah, hope Trump is done. He's not coming back. He's not going to get reelected again. They don't want him back. Now, I don't care if the majority of the American people wanted Trump back in office. They're not going to allow it. Let me rephrase that so I say that correctly. Okay, they're not going to allow it. So that's just fact check. Report of Australia taking children from parents to vax is false. Hasn't happened yet. Okay, I did look into that a little bit. There is talk. I did see the videos where they were talking about taking the children to a stadium, and they were telling the parents, that don't worry, your children will be safe. They'll be well taken care of, but the parents weren't allowed to go in. And I'm telling you what, if my kids were little again and that was an option that they were trying to push on us, that would never happen. Never happen. So I don't know if they do plan on doing that. It hasn't happened yet, as far as I know. So thank you for that. And like I said, when I talked about that the other day, I wasn't sure if that was a fact or not. So that's why I said I don't know if it's a fact or not. I will never come on here and tell you this is a fact and not have the true guess of what's going on. I did see that North Shore preparedness. He said, Ed, Australian truckers prepared to revolt against the government. I did see that. They told them they'll block the roads off, they'll block off supplies, and good for them. It's about time people are standing up and taking things back, because they got to realize these governments. See, this is what I think a lot of people really don't understand. We don't do whatever the government says. They work for us. They work for us. So the moment that we stand together as a people and stop getting the whole divided thing going, we're going to be in much better shape. Hey, KRF Jr. Ed, criminals in prison have been asked what they would do in a disaster. They responded with saying they would see it as an economic opportunity. Well, I think I'm going to tell you right now, and I've talked about this before, and thank you very much for sharing that information and stuff, and thank you for that as well. I talked about this a long time ago. There is a thing in place, a plan in place if the United States is ever invaded. And this is coming from a guy that I knew that was in prison. This guy was in Attica. He was busted selling cocaine. I worked with him in a gym later. He was an instructor. I was an instructor. And he did like 5 or 7 years in Attica. And he said, so me and him didn't get along so well, I'll be honest with you. He had come to me and he said, do you know they have a plan in place? And I want you to think about this, that if the United States is ever invaded, that every single prisoner in the federal prison system will be put down. They will not allow them to be freed to go out and hurt people. They would put them down regardless of crime. And you know what I told him? I said, good. Now, that pisses some people off. That's okay. I'm all right with that, you know. But again, you can't let some of these people, especially the bad actors, especially the really bad actors, get out there. And I'm not talking about in the county jail, guys, that you're in there because you got a DWI and you're doing weekends. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the federal prison systems with your, worst of the worst. So those are the ones. They have a game plan in place that they will put those people down. So, people are concerned about that. Or you know what wouldn't shock me if they locked them up in their cages and the guards walked away. Wouldn't shock me that way either. So, how would they do that on a mail? State prison to prison, prison to prison. You know, realistically, how hard would it be? You got them locked into their cells. You walk up cell to cell, and I think that they have. I don't know. I've heard that they have gas. I don't know if that's the case, but you go cell to cell and you do what you got to do. There you go. No, they won't let them go. They will not. No, that is not how it is. They will not let them go. Old folky or for you said many state prisons have the same plan. Yeah. So think about, do your research, folks. Don't think that they'll just let them go. They're not going to allow. I want you to remember. I want you to remember something. Prison guards live in the community as well, generally not far from the prison. Do you think they're going to swing the doors open and say, yeah, go ahead and be free when their wives and their kids are out there in that community? Think about that. Think about that. Okay. They let them go in Katrina. In that situation, that's what they did in that situation, but that's not going to be the norm. And we weren't being invaded. Hey, Gigi, Ed, do you know that in an SHTF situation would no trespassing sign work? I live out in agricultural land near the mountains, few neighbors. Trespassing signs probably would not work. What honestly, I'm going to tell you what's going to work in an SHTF situation, and it sounds horrible. And I'll be like I said, I don't sugarcoat things. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. You have somebody come to your property, and they try to do something. No, I don't watch. I don't watch any of the political stuff, Amanda. I don't watch it. So because they do a lot of blow and wind, and that's about it. A lot of empty promises, and they accomplish nothing. So a lot of them. So, but anyway, somebody comes to your property, tries to invade your property, take your stuff, hurt your family, stuff like that. You put them down, and then what I would do, and this is what I would do. A trespassing sign means nothing, but if I hang a couple of bodies out there by the driveway and say looters will be shot, guess what? Looters are going to think, you know what? That ain't the place I want to go. So again, we all have to make our own decisions on what we're going to do. But if somebody comes here and tries to do something bad, they're going to have bad consequences. That's all. And I'm not saying that, I'm a tough guy and I'm a big bad A and all this type of stuff. It's not what that's about. It's about when the time comes, it's stepping up and doing what you need to do. And you need to protect your family. And you got to realize everybody coming is not coming to be helpful. They're not. So, you hang up a couple of bodies with a nice sign on them, and people will figure it out really, really quickly. That ain't the place I want to go. And they're going to go on down the line, and they're going to go to easier pickings. Okay? That's a fact. That's a fact. So just sharing that information. So all those people that, through the years, I could not even tell you how many times I've heard. Oh, when SHTF comes, I'm going to come to your place and I'm going to take your stuff. Yeah, okay, we'll see. Unless it's like a gang of 50. Sally, I'm going to tell you what, let's talk about that. You got a gang of 50 people, right? And let's say that there are 10 of you. We'll give that, it's a nice round number of 10, right? And let's say all 10 of the people in your group know how to shoot. They're proficient with shooting, you're prepared, you're ready. You got to realize you have an advantage over those 50 people for several reasons. Number one, you know the territory. Number two, you know how to handle weapons. Number three, they're probably going to be overtired. They're going to be worn down. They're not going to be thinking clearly. There's probably going to be sick people in that group of 50. There's going to be people that are having all kinds of issues because of substance abuse or whatnot, that they're, again, not thinking straight. Hopefully, your group is well rested. They're well fed. They're getting proper nutrition and fluids and everything like that. Their minds are going to be sharper. You have a huge advantage over that group of 50 people, and you know the territory. So that 50 wouldn't scare me. Now, if I had 10 people and 5,000 people were coming, I would be more concerned. Okay, but again, you start putting some into that crowd. You look and see any kind of riot that you've seen out there, any kind of riot. Pay attention to it. I watch. You learn things. When they start shooting the tear gas and the rubber bullets, and that's what they're using right now, right? People disperse. They get out of there. Well, if you start shooting a few people and they're going down, their buddies are going to be like, oh, crap, these people are serious. They're going to get out of Dodge. That's what happens. Now, yeah, you shoot the leader first. Absolutely, always shoot the leader first if you can. Always. Whoever's in charge, figure out who they are and put them down first. When you take the head off of a snake, the rest of the body doesn't work. So remember that as well. That's actually a good point. Really good point. We are considering another large dog. German Shepherds are a great animal. Great animal, especially the females. They're very protective, very family oriented, and that's who you should have. Is definitely I like the female German Shepherds. Hey, high voltage. Our government says taking the shot is to save lives. They abandon tens of thousands of Americans in a war zone overrun by the worst terrorists. Something doesn't add up. Exactly. And again, and we talked about this the other day, and thank you very much for the donation, and thank you very much for the statement. If you're doing this and it's free, remember it's free to save lives. Well, how come insulin's not free? That saves lives. How come cancer treatment isn't free? That saves lives. Actually saves a lot more lives than this that's going on. So you know what? Like you said, when you say something doesn't add up, something don't add up. Something don't add up. So let's make insulin free. Why is it? And this is what I don't understand. Okay, and I really this I don't get. We have Narcan all over the place for the drug addicts, so that when they OD, we give them the Narcan so they can wake up and go do it again, right? How about attrition? Let nature, take care of the flock, if you will. Sorry if that hurts your feelings. If you have somebody in your family who's a heroin addict and has had issues or whatever and stuff like that, if it's their time and they're meant to go, they need to go, especially when they are a drain on society and doing nothing to help society. There was I saw a case where one guy was 3 times in 1 week, I think it was, they used Narcan on him because he just kept going back and using more. Well, if you're stupid enough in the first place to get to that point, that's on you. That's not my problem, right? But we're not going to take care of people that are diabetics that need life-saving medication and and do different things to help people that want to have a life, that want to live. Oh no, you got to pay. I'm sorry, but I just don't get me on my soapbox on that one. Really quickly, guys, I'm going to ask, what are we at? Almost 900 in the chat. We're at 448 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to do so, please, to show support for the channel. And thank you very much for doing that as well. Also, it really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason too. Also, again, I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. That's part of the game, of course. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel too. So and also, if you are not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. Now, listen, guys, I know that I may sound harsh in some of the things that I say. I have seen so much in my lifetime, and I have dealt with so much. Being in the healthcare field, it is unbelievable the things that I have seen. And so many of these people do these things to themselves. They have nobody to blame but themselves. I'm sorry if the doctor comes to you, and says, Mr. or Mrs. Smith, we'll use Smith, if you keep drinking, you're going to die of cirrhosis of the liver. Now, if you stop now, you can survive. What is the choice that most of these people make? Do they stop? No, they don't. They keep drinking. I had a stepfather that did that, drank himself to death. To me, that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. The stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. You know what? This is a gift we're given, a gift. And how many people piss it away, it infuriates me, especially when I see people that have, like my little buddy Richie, who's no longer with us, okay, who was of no fault of his own, was in an automobile accident at 5 years old, was paralyzed from the neck down, was on a ventilator from 5 years old on until he passed away, okay? That kid wanted to live. He wanted to have a life. And he did really well, and he thrived with what in his situation he thrived. I mean, he painted with his mouth, he went to concerts, he did all kinds of stuff. But so many of the people out here, some of the people watching this stream right now, you're pissing your lives away with alcohol and drugs and abusing them, and you're playing the victim. Well, guess what? I don't have sympathy for those type of people. I just don't. I've seen too much. I don't feel sorry for people who do things to themselves. And maybe that's harsh, but I'll tell you what, when you've seen what I've seen, um, you would understand. So I'm sorry, but now you see, you got me on my soapbox, guys. You got me on that soapbox, but I'm sorry. Uh, I was a medical tech for 25 years in a house to house, and seen so much you wouldn't believe. Oh, I would believe, Big Bear Prepper One. I would believe. Yeah, you're talking to somebody who also did home care a lot and watched people just destroy themselves for nothing, for nothing. Because they are addicted, that's why they can't stop. That's crap. That's crap. People can stop if they want to stop. I've seen hardcore drug addicts reach their bottom, get to that point, and it happens. It absolutely happens. And they get to that point and they go, you know what? Enough. And they stop. You know why they stopped? Because they decided to stop. And a lot of them don't go to rehab. A lot of them don't have to be doing that revolving door of all that nonsense, because that's not going to help you. If you don't deal with the core of the root problems of what got you there, that's number one. You got to deal with that. You have to deal with the reason it got you in that situation in the first place. If it was because mommy and daddy didn't hold you enough, go to somebody, talk to somebody, figure it out. Okay. Uh, you know, when I decided to, like, I'll give you an example. I was smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day at 16 years old. I was up to that. I started smoking at 12. And at 16, I was at 2 packs a day. And there was a couple of factors that made me stop. Number one, they just raised the price of cigarettes from 75 cents a pack to $1. Yeah, I'm old. I remember when it was that cheap. Number two, I got sick and tired of people trying to bum cigarettes off me all the time, and I wouldn't give them one because it used to piss me off. I'd say, go buy your own pack. And the third reason I quit, I could feel what it was doing to me. It was affecting my breathing at 16. And there was no warnings on the label saying that this is bad for you and that we make it addictive on purpose so that you become addicted, right? And I just quit. I quit like that, and I didn't smoke again ever again. Now, once in a while, I'll smoke a cigar for fun just because I want to, but I don't smoke. I smoked a cigarette. Oh, I will. At 19, when I graduated from basic training, I smoked a cigarette to celebrate. I think it's the last cigarette that I smoked. Yeah. So, it's all here. Always is here. This, oh, I'm addicted and I can't help it. Nonsense. Sorry. I don't buy it. Don't buy it. Nope. Can't do it. You're not a victim. You're not a victim. You've done this to yourself. You have nobody to blame but yourself. That's where I stand. If you don't like that, then, that's on you, you know. And yeah, there's addiction. I agree 100% they're addicted, but they don't want to change. They don't want to stop. So, to each their own. We all have choices. We can all do whatever we want. We're all big grown up adults, mostly of us on here, hopefully. Uh, you know, if you want to piss your life away and be a pillhead, go for it. I'm not stopping you. But don't ask me to help you when you get to that point, where you've lost everything and you're still looking for somebody else to help you get those things that you still want to do. Not this kid, not me. Now, if you want to help yourself and you really truly want to make a change, I'll help you. Then I would help you. I have a family member who is an addict, and it is an addiction and as an addiction, she's tried time and time again. She hasn't tried enough. Then again, until they want to stop, I'm telling you, I have zero empathy. I have addicts in my family. My ex-wife is a great prime fine example of one. Drugs were way more important than her children, more important than her marriage, more important than anything else. Okay, so there you go. Sorry, like I said, I just don't have the empathy for that. I don't. I've seen it. I've seen people piss away their lives. And remember, here's the best part: they're the victim. Not everybody whose life they destroy around them because of what they do. Not their children who are, hurting and want their mom or their dad to be in their lives. No, that's not. It's screw them. Who cares about them? They're the victim. They're the victim. Everybody that they steal from, everybody that they destroy, that they lie to, that they manipulate. Oh, no, no. They're the victim. Bull crap. Sorry. Oh, so okay, Jen. Jen's got to get me off. Hold on. Pull me down. Pull me down off that box. I'm sorry, but that's something I'm really passionate about. I've seen way too much. Way too much. So, regarding safety thoughts on possible false flag events. We'll get into that in a second, but it is time for the egg count. So let us do that. Let us do that. So, yesterday, anybody that watched yesterday's video knows we ended up with 8 eggs yesterday, and Thick Neck did lay yesterday. So I will give you guys a moment to get your guesses in. And if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to do that now to show support for the channel. And thank you for doing that ahead of time. Again, it really does help with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. And again, I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. That's part of the game, of course, as well. So I thank you for that as well. But also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. I've told you guys in the past, and I just want to put this out here. I don't sugarcoat. Okay, I don't sugarcoat stuff. I say it right. I shoot from the hip. Now, I'm giving you my opinion. But it's based on a history of seeing things. All right. I got a buddy of mine, real good dude, and I'm going to give you the count here in just a second. Had a son. Kid had potential. Was working in a bank. Was like real decent job in a bank. Had gotten married. Drugs were more important. Eventually got hooked on heroin. Now he's sitting in prison. Now, whose fault is it? Is he a victim? Is he can't help it? Oh, poor him. Now, he was out robbing old ladies. Okay, I don't feel sorry for him. He did it to himself. So you know what? That's nobody's fault but his own. And his father tried to help him. I mean, he tried to help him. And I kept telling him, you got to stop. You got to stop. I said, all you're doing is enabling him. Every time you bail him out, you enable him. So there you go. So what I'm describing is a lack of hope. You know what? No, it's not even a matter of a lack of hope. It's a matter of that they don't want to change. They don't want to change. Okay. If you had the same exact guess, I only saw one right answer, just so you know, too, by the way. If you had the same exact guess as DJ with 4 eggs, that's all we had today was 4 eggs. So lazy chickens. I got to get rid of those extra roosters. And I think that's the problem. I really, really think that's the problem. They're not laying like they normally do this time of year. Could be a combination. Some of my other hens are getting older. And also, I have too many roosters right now. So, yep, DJ, you're the only one that I saw with 4. So, but and I was that's why I was looking. I kept looking. I'm like, somebody gonna get it right? So, but yes, in this kid that I'm talking about stole from his father, stole from his grandmother, So we all make choices, and we all have to live by those choices. But I will tell you this right now: he's not the victim. The victims are everybody that he hurt around him, who loved him, who cared about him. And I'll tell you another story. Another young man. Okay, and this is one of those positive ones. Say OxyContin, right? Boy, they gave that away like it was candy, right? So this poor kid ends up getting addicted to OxyContin, and he did some bad things. And he ended up going to jail, and he ended up pleading to a felony. He has a felony charge that he will have with him for the rest of his life. When he was sitting in jail, and he was young at the time, he was in his early 20s, a light bulb went off in this kid's head, and he made a change. He is now in law school. Hey, Asif, how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb has to really want to change. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, right, exactly. And it always comes down to that. You have to want to change. And this kid, the other kid that I'm talking about, loved this kid. I love this kid. I watched him grow up, and it broke my heart when I saw him going down like that. It did, because you have empathy. You feel bad, but when they do it to themselves, you can't help them when they won't help themselves. So, do happy people start doing drugs? I think, you know what it is? I honestly think that a lot of times it's experimentation. I think a lot of the times, what it comes down to is you have people that are trying to escape other issues in their life, not dealing with it. Like they could be in an abusive relationship at home, like they were sexually abused or they were beaten, those type of things, and they turn to drugs as an escape. Because when you're high or when you're drunk, you don't have to think about those things. You don't care. That's the beauty of drugs. When you are wasted, you don't care. But unfortunately, what comes with that is another whole set of new problems because you can't keep a job and do the things that you need to do. you know oh, you'd be amazed by who does drugs. Oh, a lot of people do drugs, absolutely. And some people can function and they do it. you know and guys, just so you know, um I'm not talking about marijuana. Okay. Marijuana affects everybody differently. Some people I know can smoke pot and it focuses them and they can get a lot done. And I've told you guys this: when I smoke pot, I turn into a retard. That's what I turn into. I don't get anything accomplished. I Nothing happens. That's the end of my day. And if that's offensive to somebody, I apologize, but that's the only way I know how to explain that. I accomplish nothing. That is the end of my day, whatever time it is. Um, you know, so that's why will I smoke pot once in a while? Yep, sure will. Absolutely, yes, I will. Once in a while, I will. Okay, not very often. And if I decide to do it, it's at the end of the day when I got everything else is already done, and I'm not going anywhere, and I'm home. So but very, very infrequent because uh, I got better things to do. That's just where I'm at. Yeah, pot just makes you hungry and sleepy. Yep. Well, it makes me very unproductive as well. I'd weigh 200 pounds if I smoke pot regularly. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, because you want to take a nap and have something to eat. Hey, Brandon, it took me a divorce to realize that you can't help people that don't want help. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And thank you very much for the donation. Um, you cannot change people that don't want to be changed. You can't. There's nothing you can do for them. They're going to do what they're going to do regardless of. You could have the best intentions in the world. I couldn't tell you um, how many people out there get together with somebody because they think they're going to change them. All they need is a good man or a good woman, and they'll be better and they'll do better. No, they won't, because they don't want to. And that's what it always comes down to with any addiction: cigarettes, gambling, uh, sex addictions, drug addictions, any of those addictions, any of them. They're all a ton of addictions out there. And until you decide to make a choice, not for anybody else, you won't make the choice for anybody else, because 9 times out of 10, if they tell you, you need to choose between us and the drugs, or us and gambling, or whatever the case may be, they're going to choose the addiction because they're caught up in it. And until they decide that they want to do something, that's when they change. So, but again, this actually all goes back into our original conversation. Those type of people, when SHTF does happen and it's a worst case disaster, those addictions don't just magically disappear. They're not going to just disappear. So it's going to be exacerbated, because it's not going to be pretty. So and what do you think is going to happen to those type of people breaking into people's homes to try to get drugs and stuff like that? What do you think their life expectancy is going to be? And you think mom and dad are going to sit home and go, "Oh, poor Johnny, it wasn't Johnny's fault. It was 100% Johnny's fault. Johnny climbs in that window and tries to rob from Grandma Smith, and Grandma Smith pulls out her 12 gauge and cuts Johnny in half. That's 100% Johnny's fault. Because if Johnny didn't climb in that window, it never would have happened." So, real quick, I want to talk about my website, preppernurse1.com. We have the Prepper Nurse 1 community there for you guys. If you're looking to connect with like-minded people, go to my website, preppernurse1.com. You do have to register, but it is free to join. No credit card information is asked. A lot of good message boards there, a lot of ways to connect with people in your state or your country. Definitely take advantage of that, okay? Also, on my website, we have the Forefathers, which is the CBD and hemp store. So if you go there and you see their logo and you click on that, it will take you to their website. If you decide to make a CBD or hemp purchase, when you check out, make sure you use the discount code PrepperNurse1 and you will save yourself 15% on your purchase, okay? 55 years of age and I can still do 100 push-ups. That's cool, man. That's good, Luke. Nothing wrong with that. Like people will say to me, I don't look my age. I look younger than I am. Well, because I haven't ravaged myself with drugs and alcohol my whole life. And I'm pretty much, for the most part, taking good care of myself, other than I like my sweets. That's my addiction. So, but yeah, it doesn't make it better when a doctor prescribes it. No, and that's we've talked about window liquor prepper. I like that. That's awesome. I like the name. When the doctor prescribes it, and I've heard that one too. Well, it was prescribed by a doctor. Doesn't make it any less addictive. Doesn't make it any better. When you go through a 30-day supply of pills in 2 weeks, and then you spend the next 2 weeks drug seeking, you have a problem. So, but that's another story. Anyway, also on my website, if you go there, preppernurse1.com, if you click on store, it will drop down. It says Legacy Foods. We have the freeze-dried Legacy Foods there available if you are interested. 25-year shelf life. It is GMO-free. Gluten options are available. It is also vegan. Beef and chicken can be purchased separately. Also, it is the largest portion size of Coca-Cola contained cocaine in it, Tammy. The original Coca-Cola had cocaine in it. Yep, and the cough syrup did too. Yep, absolutely. So, which makes it more addictive. And you know what? Here's the best part. They know it does. That's why they put it in there. Isn't that interesting how that works? With cigarettes. They knew all along that it was hurting people. And they put on the different stuff that made it more addictive. It was done on purpose. Posting videos on YouTube is my addiction, Ed. Could be. You never know. But yeah, everything is done for a reason. It's generally not for your own good. Remember that. Remember Zantac? Wonderful Zantac, right? What's happening with Zantac now? Didn't they take that off the market, if I'm not mistaken? Why? Because it was causing prostate cancer and that type of stuff. But hey, magic, Zantac, you got indigestion. Go ahead, have some. Good for you. Yep, now they got $1 billion lawsuit going. Give me the indigestion, okay? I'll take a Tums. Oh, yeah, and who was the one, I want you to think about this. Who was the one recommending you that you take Zantac? Your doctor. And it's no slam against you, Asif. I think you're awesome, but I'm just using that as an example. The doctors were giving it out because why? Because the pharmaceutical company said, hey, yeah, opposite, yep, okay. Nikki Rhodes said it also caused like throat cancer as well. Real easy term. But yeah, so it's like the pharmaceutical companies push these things on the doctors. They say, hey, if you put this out here and you promote this, we'll give you this vacation and give you all these perks and do all that type of stuff, I just took 2 Tums, no kidding, Patty, for it. Hey, Tums works. Tums works. So I'll stick with stuff like that. Tried and true. It ain't pretty, but it works. I don't really have a lot of problem with indigestion, so I'm pretty lucky. So, oh, absolutely, JJ. Food can be very addictive as well. Anybody ever watch? I mean, and let's use this as an example. Here's another one. It's a great example, actually. My 600-pound life. How many of y'all have watched that show? I'm sure a lot of you probably have. Okay. You have these people that are 600 plus pounds that have horrid underlying issues because of that excess weight. And they're young. Okay. And the doctor says to them, listen, if you don't make a change and do this or that, you're going to die. And how many of them still die anyway? They may lose weight, but then they gain it back. And they're eating, somebody just put on here, comfort food. Exactly. Because the food never judges. The food doesn't care if you're fat. But again, I can't stand that show, Jones, he says. Well, the thing is, you have so many, again, so many of these people. What do they play? They play the victim. They're the victim. It's not my fault. Yeah, it's 100% your fault. You're opening up your cake hole and shoving pies in there. Nobody's forcing you to do that. So again, you know what I mean? It's amazing to me. It's absolutely amazing to me. And again, you know, it's how do you let yourself get to that point? And it happens all the time. So yeah, there's a lot of these medications, guys, that have been pushed through the years. That there's now lawsuits out the wazoo because of that. You look at, you know, in these settlements that the pharmaceutical companies are making with the different states over the, you know, like oxycontin and the Percocets and everything else, and how they really push that out there, and they're doing all these settlements. That's nothing. That's nothing. You think about the lives lost, the lives destroyed, the families destroyed. It's not always the person that was the addict. And again, and this is what I really want people to understand, okay? It's not always the addict. It's everybody that is around the addict. Their mother, their father, their brothers and sisters, their husband, their wife, their children. That's who the victims are. That's who the victims are. Because it affects everybody. Addiction affects everybody in the family, you know, and you have certain people that will enable, and you could tell them to the blue in the face, stop giving them money, they're pissing it away on drugs or whatever. They enable them. If you're 600 pounds, okay, and Randy Romine just said enablers, you're 600 pounds and you can't get up out of your room, somebody's bringing you that food, somebody's bringing it in there for you, okay? That's an enabler. And so if you're in that room and I'm giving you just enough to survive until you can get your butt up out of that bed and do something for yourself, that's one forced way of doing it. Saving humanity. Did you know that the government is paying farmers to destroy their crops? Also, did you know COVID is just a flu rebranded to give people a vaccine that has nanotech spike that is toxic to the human body? I know that I thank you for the comment, and thank you very much for the donation as well. I did hear about the farmers. I was going to do a video about that. They're being paid one of the times, subsidized farmers are being paid 1.5 times what the crop was worth to plow it under. So they're destroying their own crops, and if they don't, then they get destroyed by big government. And that's why a lot of people, it's actually 80%, Jane. It's 80%. They're overweight or obese. 80% of all hospitalizations is 80% are obese. Now, as far as the nanotechnology type of stuff, I'm not a big believer that that's part of what this is, but there is different things in here that are not natural in this, and I wouldn't even call it a vaccine because it's really not a vaccine. Um, there is stuff in there that is not natural to the body and shouldn't be in there. So at 275, I couldn't imagine being 600. I'll tell you what, I have peaked out. The highest that I have been was 230. Okay. And at 230, I felt like total crap. Total crap. Started having sleep apnea, all kinds of issues with that. And I'm like, and that's for me. That what did I do? Did I go get a BiPAP machine and sleep with a BiPAP machine? No, I lost weight. I said, no, that's enough. It's time to lose weight, and became more active and did something about it. But guess what? The only person that changed me, the only one that made that decision Wasn't the doctor telling me my blood pressure was too high or this, that, or the other thing. It was me making a decision that I want to be healthier. I want to live better. And I don't want to have these issues. So, again, always a choice. Always a choice. So, that's something to think about. I want to do some shout outs again while I'm thinking about it. We did the one shout out earlier, and so I want to make sure I get all this in because we're getting towards the end of this time. I'm going to ask for another thumbs up really quick before we start the shout outs. We're at 750 in the chat. We're at 645 on the thumbs up. Now, we hit 800 thumbs up the other day, and I think we ended up getting like 150 of them in the last 10 minutes of that stream, which was amazing. So let's see again. So we're at 656. Let's see if we can hit 800 again today. And I think we ended up with like 816 in that stream too, just so you know. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And thank you very much for doing that ahead of time. And again, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that. It pushes us up higher in the rankings. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. The third reason is because I like to see a lot of thumbs up, being honest, right? Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. So North Shore Preparedness, just put Icky Can Off Grid up here is one of the links. I definitely recommend you guys go and check him out as well. Really, really good guy, and I would like you to show him some support, and thank you for that ahead of time. You got down 25. Count those, all count the same. Oh yeah, they all count the same. Any weight you lose to make it makes you better. And I want you to think about this. And this is an experiment for people. I want you to think about it. Let's say you're 10, 15, 20 pounds overweight. Maybe you're 50 pounds overweight, whatever the case may be. Get a backpack. Throw a 20 pounds in that backpack. Distribute it so it's comfortable. Throw 20 pounds in there. Walk around for a day carrying that 20 pounds extra on there. See how that feels. See how you feel with that. And then you're going to realize if you start getting rid of that weight, man, you're going to feel a lot better. And so that should be a motivator too. It should be a motivator because you want to be there for your children, to be able to play with your children, to do things with them. Those are motivating factors. They should be anyway. So, but anyway, we got the babies are in. Heather must have just brought the pups in. So anyway, let's do more shout outs. Sean James and Myself Reliant, same guy, two different channels. Definitely check him out. Great guy up in Canada, building his new homestead, and really, really good guy. Hello. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You want to be on camera? What? Oh no, you got to get down. Your feet are all wet. I love you. Must be starting to rain out there or something. Stop. Say, hey, be good. She's just a big galoot is what she is. She doesn't realize her size, and she's still a baby. So, but she's a good dog. I love this dog. So, but anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, so also Doug and Stacy is another good channel. No, she didn't pee on her feet. No, she didn't pee on her feet. Say, what? You're a goof. You're a goof. Pandora, stop. She's jealous. Also, see now look what happened. Ice Age Farmer. We have also Diamond from the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. I like his channel as well. I keep telling you, Hella is 60% wolf. Nope, she's a German Shepherd. She's a big baby. Oh my God, she's such a good dog. She really is. Full Spectrum Survival. Yes, Bonnie. Another good channel there. Like his stuff as well. Ice Age Farmer is another good one. Yep, there's the link for Doug and Stacy. And we also have Marfugal News with Adam out on the West Coast in Seattle. Green Greg's, very cool guy as well. Also Magic Prepper, Angry Prepper. Can't forget Angry Prepper down in New York City. And so another good guy. Also Boss of the Swamp, I like him. Southern Prepper 1. Oh, let's see. North Shore Preparedness. We got to throw North Shore Preparedness out there as well. They got their channel. So uh, who else? I'm trying to think here while I'm thinking about it. 80K Man is another one. Prepper Nation. Yep, exactly. Dogquake. Exactly. Yeah, there's nothing subtle about her. She's just Alaska Prepper, another good channel. Alaskan Prepper is also, or Canadian Prepper is another one. Alaskan Granny is another one. Pinball Preparedness. Yep. So was 231, got down to 178 after backpack travel. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'll tell you what, I'll bet you feel a tremendous amount better. A tremendous. Yep, Bjorn. There's another good guy, good channel. Viking Preparedness. I like him. I've watched him off and on. So yeah, there's so many good channels out there. I really do think we should all be supporting each other, and I think that is important that we do that. Bear Independent. I think we already said him earlier. But yeah, so there's a ton. So go to these channels, subscribe, tell them Prepper Nurse One sent you over. Like I said again, I think it's important that we should be Prepper Princess. Yep, there's another one that we should be supporting each other, and lifting each other up is what we should be doing. So anyway, and then the one out there again in Arizona. What was it? I'm trying to say, I forgot their name already. The Green Projects. Something Green Project. So, but they're awesome as well. So I definitely recommend that you go out there and you support them as well. And they're very, very cool. So anyway, so that's all the different ones that I wanted to mention there. Let's do this now while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, the Green Dream Project. Thank you. I completely love them. I've subscribed to them and I see their videos pop up, so I'll watch them. They just had a big storm come in, and he was like so happy his cistern was filling up, and it was kind of cool. It was really, really cool to see. I get caught up in that excitement because I get it, and especially like I said, when they're living out there, and most of the year they're not getting any rain at all, and so to be able to have thousands and thousands of gallons put away, it's going to carry you through until you get more rain. And I think that's a very cool thing. So, all right, so let's do this next because, again, the time definitely did get away from me tonight. We are Legion because we are many. We are the good Legion, like the American Legion and the Roman legions, not the bad biblical Legion, okay? That was one demon with many demons inside. We're not a demon. We're good people. So what are your tattoos saying? Oh, I got too many of them. Too many of them. A lot of them say different things. So, but anyway, we are Legion. Where's everybody from tonight? And while we're doing that again, let's hit that thumbs up button again. So we have Virginia, Jen. Really, Jen, you're from Virginia? Hey, Jen, give me a call after the stream. I want to talk to you about something. We have Navajo Nation, Arizona. We have Nowhere, Oklahoma, still my favorite name, Central Missouri, and Northern California, Buffalo, New York, Southwest Virginia. Let's see, Maryland, BC, Canada, Southeast Kansas, New Jersey, Leesburg, Florida, Buffalo, New York, Kenton, the UK, Maryland, Delaware, Beech Grove, Indiana, Wisconsin, Vancouver, BC, Canada, Scotland's in the house, very nice, Union City, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Vancouver Island, Ocean Park, Washington, New York City, Campbell, Missouri, Walnut Grove, and I missed where that was from, so sorry. Let's see, Minnesota, Central Square, New York, Catskill Mountains in New York, Portland, Oregon, Ontario, Sudbury, Wisconsin, Southeast Florida, Grand Rapids, Michigan, West Tennessee, Charlotte, North Carolina, Southern Oregon, very nice, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, very nice, the UP, Western Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nova Scotia, Finger Lakes, New York, Ashburn, Georgia, Tucson, Arizona, East Tennessee, Nebraska, South Central Dakota, very nice, North Central West Virginia, Christmas Valley, Oregon. We have the UK again, very nice, welcome, thanks for being here. Dripping Spring, Texas, Lansing, Michigan, North Central Arkansas, Ulster Park, New York, Canandaigua, New York, Texas, Michigan, the Lower Peninsula. I like that. That's funny. Germantown, Maryland, Lacey, Washington, South Central Pennsylvania. Yoopers. That's right. The people in the upper peninsula are Yoopers. Great shores of Lake Erie, Wilbury, Ohio, Richmond, Texas, Long Island. The tattoos on my arms. On this one here, this top tattoo, you can't even read it anymore because it's so faded, because it is so old. That says Queen. That is a rose that I put on there for my sister. And this one here says Fight or Die. That was my first tattoo. I was 19 years old, fresh out of basic training. Very, very gung-ho. One up here on the top says First Jump, 6/23 of 1990. Was the first time I jumped out of an airplane for fun, and it was awesome. I made 6 jumps, I think, altogether, 6 or 7 static line jumps. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. Ex-girlfriend said, "Let's go skydiving." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'm game. I'm in. Let's go." So what do we at? 7:45 on the thumbs up, guys. Let's see if we can hit that 800 mark. I don't know if we're going to do it or not. We're very close to the end here. Got about 6 minutes to go, so we got a long way to go. So if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time for doing that. I do appreciate it. Also, again, it does help with the algorithms, so the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So I'm not getting notifications for your videos. Is anyone else having issues with this? That happens a lot. You might want to check your bell icon to see if they've changed it. They do that. Or they unsubscribe people. They do that as well. So that is part of the issues of what they do. So if you can, you want to make sure you check that periodically, because I'm posting every day. I would like to take my ex skydiving. No, that's not nice. See, I'm an adrenaline junkie. I'll be honest with you. That's another addiction. Yes, it is. I like the rush. Going fast on a motorcycle, going fast in a car, jumping trains. I did that when I was a kid. That was a rush. Jumping out of airplanes, that's a rush. Any kind of thing that, like working out, I would get a rush out of working out. The endorphin high off of working out, that was definitely a rush in itself. Roller coasters, yep, they can be a lot of fun too. And but when you go over that lip of the roller coaster, you got to put your hands up. That's the important part. So you got to do that. So, but yeah, I've taken my share of chances in my life. Very, very fortunate to be here. So anyway, yeah, if you're not getting notifications to the videos, I'm here every day. I'm posting every day. I'm live streaming 3 days a week, and so definitely, look for me. If you're not getting them, I'm still here. I haven't gone anywhere. So, fast women. Oh yeah, there you go. That'll be the death of you. Fast women will be the death of you. So, but what are we at? 767. So we're looking at what? 33 more thumbs up, guys. So, but anyway, I do want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. I do appreciate you guys. So thank you for doing what you do, ladies and gentlemen. It's awesome. It really does make a difference, because that way everybody can enjoy having a good chat, and we don't have to worry about people coming in and acting like idiots. So I think that that's funny, but I don't know why they still think that they can do it. I don't get it. But so fast women aren't dangerous. Intelligent women are. That's why you have to watch out. The ones you have to watch out for. I'm going to tell you what. That's one of my attractions. I'm attracted to women that have a brain in their head. So and that usually ends up coming back to bite me in the behind. But hey, I got to have somebody that I can chat with as well. So that makes a difference. But what are we at? 777, 23 guys. 23 more thumbs up to hit 800. Let's do it. Again, I want to thank you all for being here and being part of the stream. It really does mean a lot to me. I appreciate the support. You guys are awesome, and so thank you for that as well. I really do appreciate that. Remember, We are all in this together. We really, truly are. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that out, we're going to be in such better shape. Viking Bear Prepping, thanks, Ed, for all the information that you provide. Ed, you really helped us get prepared and understand what my family needs to do. Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. It is awesome. And thank you very much for the donation as well. And thank you for saying it. The main reason that I'm on here is to help people to help themselves. That's what I want to try to do. I want to make people, help themselves. Good night, Ed. Take care. Off to bed. Pete in the UK. Pete, thanks for being here, man. I know it's late for you, so thank you for being here this late. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Um, Again, we got to stop letting them divide us. The newest one, as we know, is the vaxxed and the unvaxxed. That is the newest one. I saw an article today, not making this up, true is true. Vaccinated people are putting the people that are unvaccinated to the side. They're getting rid of those people. That was what the article was. I mean, how ridiculous is that? If that person is your friend, you should not care if they do it or don't do it. If they're your friend, they're your friend. But apparently that's not what, and that's just a propaganda, again, that's being put out there. So that's one way to divide us. Another way is by politics, the left and the right? Make sure that we're continuously fighting each other, not realizing that those in power are always going to be in power. They're always going to do what they're going to do, and they're never going to look out for our best interest. That's what we need to realize. Also, that is discrimination. Imagine that, Angela. I know but that's, I guess, there's acceptable discrimination and then there's unacceptable discrimination. So, but also, and again, Jen, give me a holler after the stream is over. I want to talk to you about something. So, also, what was I going to say? Oh, religion is used as a dividing tool, and also race. Let's not let them do that. Also, remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. So what are we at? 795. 5 more, guys. Let's get those thumbs up. Let's get them. Let's see. Let's hit 800. Got to hit 800. Also, remember, guys, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you were trying to do, whatever you were trying to accomplish, we got it. That's awesome. Cool. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from reaching your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you. Stay positive, stay away from that negativity, and you're going to be just fine. Don't let people bring you down. Don't let people tell you what you cannot accomplish. Don't let them do it, okay? So stay positive, stay away from that negativity, and you guys are going to be just fine, all right? Set your goals and make them happen. And remember, when I hit 100,000 subscribers, I will have STD tattooed on my body. So every new subscriber that we get, that puts us one closer to that goal. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I really am. I just think that'll be fun. So, but anyway, so what are we at? 8:14. We had 8:16 the last stream. Let's not. Now we're at 8:15. 2 more. Let's get it up over that 8:16. I'm always going to ask for more. So we're at 8:16. There we go. We blew through it. 8:23. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. You're the best. Keep prepping. Keep getting ready. We never know what's going to happen. And also remember this. When the time comes, you are going to have what you have. No more going out to the store. No more last runs. You're going to have what you have. Keep your gas tanks topped off. Keep your gas cans full. An empty gas tank is a waste. Keep them all full. Keep getting those preps. All right? I will talk to you all later. Prep Nurse 1 out for now.